Triple H never saw it coming. The man who bled, sweat, and sacrificed everything for WWE, the man who stood by Stephanie McMahon through thick and thin, through boardroom wars and in-ring chaos, was stabbed in the back in the most humiliating way possible. And not by just anyone, by Kurt freaking Angle. Yes, the same Kurt Angle who once smiled in Triple H's face, the same Kurt Angle who once played the family friend. This isn't just a betrayal, it's the most disgraceful scandal WWE has ever faced. Imagine this, behind closed doors, while Triple H was busting his body running WWE Creative, Stephanie was busy entertaining someone else. And not just any someone else. It was Kurt Angle, the man who once made advances on her 2 decades ago, the man Triple H feuded with relentlessly in the early 2000s over this exact same suspicion. History just repeated itself, but this time it's no storyline. It's real, it's raw, and it's ripping the McMahon-Helmsley empire apart. The whispers started weeks ago. Reports of late-night meetings, Stephanie being spotted away from Titan Towers at odd hours, paparazzi catching her in places she had no business being, but nobody believed it. After all, Stephanie and Triple H were the power couple of WWE, the king and queen of wrestling, a dynasty. But dynasties don't collapse overnight unless betrayal rots them from the inside, and that rot has a name: Kurt Angle. The Olympic gold medalist, the American hero, the man once idolized for his integrity, has now become the most hated figure in this entire storm. Fans are calling him a snake, a homewrecker, and a coward who preyed on an old flame to get revenge on Triple H for past humiliations. Think about it, Kurt was never able to beat Triple H where it mattered most, in respect, in power, in legacy. And now, he got his revenge in the dirtiest way possible. The locker room is buzzing. Sources say wrestlers are disgusted. Some say they saw the writing on the wall. Others claim Kurt was bragging behind the scenes, dropping cryptic hints about unfinished business with Stephanie. Can you imagine the level of arrogance it takes to destroy another man's marriage and gloat about it in the back? Kurt didn't just disrespect Triple H, he disrespected every single wrestler who ever looked up to him. And the worst part? Triple H found out not from Stephanie, not from Kurt, but from cold, hard evidence. Leaked photos, messages, proof. When the truth hit him, it was like a sledgehammer to the chest. The game was blindsided, humiliated, and betrayed in the most personal way imaginable. Fans are furious. Social media is on fire. Some are calling for Stephanie to step down from any WWE involvement permanently. Others want Kurt Angle blacklisted from the company, stripped of every honor he's ever received. Because this isn't just a private affair anymore, it's public, it's messy, and it's threatening to tear WWE's entire legacy apart. Triple H, the man who rebuilt WWE when Vince McMahon stepped down, the man who gave his entire life to this business, has been broken in a way no rival, no injury, no storyline could ever break him. And this betrayal didn't just come from his wife, it came from someone he once respected as a brother in arms. The silence from WWE headquarters is deafening. No statements, no press releases, just tension, because deep down, they know this scandal isn't going away. Fans want blood, they want answers, and most of all, they want justice for Triple H. The news spread like wildfire, not just across social media but within the very walls of WWE's empire. Wrestlers in the locker room were whispering, exchanging looks, and speculating about what this meant for the balance of power. Stephanie McMahon wasn't just Hunter's wife, she was the daughter of Vince McMahon, the very backbone of WWE's corporate and creative world. This wasn't just an affair, it was a full-blown power crisis, one that threatened to shake the company to its core. Triple H, known for his iron resolve and carefully measured public appearances, suddenly became unpredictable. Reports began leaking that Hunter stormed out of corporate meetings, slamming doors, and shouting at executives who dared to even mention Stephanie's name. The game wasn't playing anymore, he was fighting for his dignity. The thought of his wife betraying him with Kurt Angle, a man he already had a storied rivalry with, poured gasoline onto an already raging fire. Fans began pulling clips from the Attitude Era, resurfacing old promos where Kurt Angle openly flirted with Stephanie in storylines. The internet erupted with claims that maybe it had never been just storyline, maybe Kit's interest in Stephanie had always been a little too real. And now, years later, it had allegedly come full circle in a way no one ever expected. Inside arenas, the chants started. During live shows, fans would chant Kurt stole Steph and Hunter's heartbroken just to get a reaction. The cameras didn't always catch it, but those who were in the building confirmed the tension was palpable. Triple H would step out onto the stage, his usual stone-cold demeanor barely holding together as chants of betrayal rang out. It was humiliation on a global stage, and Hunter was forced to endure it. Meanwhile, Kurt Angle wasn't helping matters. Instead of denying the allegations, he stayed eerily silent. That silence was deafening. Every time he appeared on social media, fans would flood the comments, "Did you really do it? Is Stephanie with you right now? How long has this been going on?" Kurt, whether intentionally or not, allowed the speculation to grow unchecked. The breaking point came when Triple H allegedly filed divorce papers documents that insiders claim were leaked to TMZ before WWE could even spin the story. The narrative shifted instantly. This wasn't just gossip anymore, this was legal. This was official. The cracks in WWE's most powerful family were now documented for the world to see. And yet, Stephanie remained calm. She made no public statement, no tearful denial, no desperate attempt to save her image. Instead, she carried herself with quiet defiance, almost as if daring Hunter to follow through with his threats. To some, that silence was guilt. To others, it was power. The queen of WWE wasn't going to bow to anyone, not even her husband. But what did this mean for the company itself? Investors were shaken. Fans were divided. And wrestlers behind the scenes began to wonder who really held the reins of power. Was this the end of the McMahon-Helmsley era as we know it? Or was this all just another twist in WWE's never-ending saga of betrayal and control? The fallout from Stephanie McMahon's betrayal was only just beginning to set in when Triple H made a move that no one in the WWE universe thought he'd ever dare to make. He filed for divorce. The man who once stood beside Stephanie as the power couple of WWE was now tearing down the very foundation of their legacy, and he wasn't doing it quietly. The court documents were leaked almost immediately to the press. Headlines flooded social media. Triple H ends marriage with Stephanie after shocking affair with Kurt Angle. The wrestling community exploded. Fans weren't just stunned, they were angry, confused, and demanding answers. How could the woman who once claimed to be the billion-dollar princess betray her husband with the one man Triple H hated most, the Olympic hero, Kurt Angle? Backstage, the environment was pure chaos. Wrestlers and staff whispered in hushed tones, picking sides as if they were forced into a war. Some, surprisingly, sided with Stephanie, calling Triple H a controlling tyrant who had finally gotten what he deserved. Others were firmly in Hunter's corner, defending him as a man betrayed by both his wife and a rival he'd buried countless times before. Then came the bombshell: Triple H wasn't just ending his marriage, he was using the divorce as a weapon. Sources close to him revealed that he planned to push Stephanie completely out of WWE's boardroom power structure. This wasn't just about love anymore. This was about control. This was about revenge. Stephanie, however, wasn't going down without a fight. On SmackDown, she appeared in the ring with Kurt Angle at her side, her arm draped around his like she had nothing to hide. The crowd erupted in boos, their voices shaking the arena. Stephanie smirked, her confidence radiating as she took the mic. "You think Hunter can end me? You think some papers filed in a courtroom can erase the McMahon name from WWE? This company is mine by birthright. And Hunter, if you think you can throw me out, you're sadly mistaken. Because unlike you, I have someone by my side who truly understands me." The camera panned to Kurt Angle, who grinned like a man who had finally gotten one over on his old rival. He raised Stephanie's hand like she had just won a championship. The boos grew deafening, with fans chanting, "You sold out. You sold out." Backstage, Triple H watched from a monitor, his fists clenched so tightly his knuckles went white. For years, he had been the master manipulator, the cerebral assassin who outthought and outplayed everyone in the business. But this was personal in a way he had never experienced before. His heart, his family, and now his very position in WWE were being ripped apart in front of millions. The next week on Raw, Triple H stormed down to the ring, no music, no theatrics, just pure rage. The crowd roared as he snatched a microphone, his voice shaking with fury. "Stephanie, you want to embarrass me? You want to drag my name, our family, through the mud? Fine. But make no mistake, I will burn this entire company to the ground before I let you and Kurt Angle sit on top of it." The WWE universe exploded, and within seconds, Kurt Angle's music hit. Out came Kurt with Stephanie again, both of them smug and untouchable. Kurt held his Olympic gold medals in one hand, twirling them like trophies, before stepping nose-to-nose with Triple H. "You had your chance, Hunter," Kurt said, his voice steady and cutting. "But you lost her. And now, you're about to lose a whole lot more." The tension was unbearable. Triple H's eyes darted between Stephanie and Kurt, his jaw trembling with rage, before he dropped the mic and lunged at Angle. The two brawled viciously in the middle of the ring, fists flying as referees and security rushed down to separate them. By the time the show ended, fans weren't just watching a feud, they were witnessing the implosion of WWE's most powerful family. Triple H was out for blood. Stephanie was out for dominance. And Kurt Angle had reignited the most toxic rivalry in wrestling history. The question wasn't if this would destroy WWE. The question was, how far were they willing to go before someone lost everything? The cameras cut to a dimly lit locker room where Stephanie sits with her head in her hands, visibly broken, but not because of guilt, because of exposure. For years, she's held the WWE universe in the palm of her hand, the billion-dollar princess, untouchable, ruthless, and always in control. But now, the illusion is shattered. Triple H's lawyers have already filed for divorce, the news is public, and the headlines are circling like vultures. The crowd's boos shake every arena she walks into. The once commanding aura of Stephanie McMahon has transformed into a walk of shame. Fans hold up signs reading "Kit's Gold Medal Mistress" and "Stephanie Screwed Hunter." It's humiliating, and the camera doesn't shy away from capturing her trembling hands, her fake smile hiding the storm of panic raging inside. Meanwhile, Kurt Angle doesn't seem guilty. In fact, he leans into it. The Olympic hero walks out with a smug grin, microphone in hand, and declares, "Triple H may have been the game, but clearly, I was the one who won." The crowd gasps and roars in disbelief. Kurt isn't just admitting the affair, he's mocking Hunter for being played. He claims Stephanie was lonely, misunderstood, and tired of being second place to a steel chair. The disrespect is nuclear. Triple H, who's been absent from shows since the filing, finally breaks his silence in a video package. Sitting in his home gym, sweat dripping down his face, eyes burning with fury, he stares into the camera. "You can mock me, Kurt. You can laugh at me, Stephanie. But remember this, games have rules, and when I come back, I'm changing them all." The WWE universe loses it. Social media explodes with speculation. Does this mean Triple H is preparing a comeback to bury both Kurt and Stephanie? Or is this the beginning of an even darker era where Hunter stops playing by the rules altogether? As the weeks go by, Stephanie tries to spin the story, painting herself as the victim. She claims Triple H was too obsessed with power and neglected their marriage. But the fans don't buy it. The boos get louder, the chants harsher, "You cheated," echo through every arena. Then, just when the storm seems unbearable, Stephanie drops a bombshell. She files a counter-lawsuit. Not only does she fight the divorce terms, but she also accuses Hunter of psychological abuse and claims she was driven into Kut's arms. It's manipulation at its peak, a desperate play to flip the narrative. The locker room becomes a war zone. Some superstars side with Hunter, disgusted by Stephanie's betrayal. Others side with Kurt, believing Hunter had this coming for years of ego and manipulation. The WWE isn't just divided, it's fractured to its core. And right in the middle of it all? Vince McMahon, the patriarch, the father, the chairman. His daughter's disgrace and his son-in-law's rage are now poisoning the empire he built. Vince storms out on Raw, furious, veins popping as he screams at both, "You're tearing this family apart, and you're tearing this company down with it." The crowd goes silent. The family feud has crossed into business, and Vince's authority is now on the line.